guys, welcome to the Backyard Camper Build Rust to Road Trip. In this video I'm going to show you how I built my RV camper, my teardrop RV camper from scratch using this trailer here that I got off Facebook for less than $200. I've been looking for a trailer to build, but then I got on Facebook and I seen this one and I said that'll work considering it used to be a pop-up camper already. So here we go. Alright, so in this video I am taking some measurements of the trailer, deciding, where I'm going to place the base of the trailer. And so I'm just taking some different measurements. Also taking some measurements of the brake, deciding if I want to put a new axle on or not. Here I am looking at the trailer plug hitch up, which I have a 4, so I'm going to use a different plug on that, replace it. And here's the trailer just in the backyard, ready for some cleanup. So here I'm just kind of deciding where I'm going to get started at with the rust removal and parts that I'm going to cut off and keep and so on and so forth. I mean, mostly we got surface rust here, so it won't be too bad. Just a little bit of sanding and so on and so forth. Again, there's the axle. Deciding how we're going to deal with the axle. Now I'm looking at the tongue, seeing what the condition the tongue is in. It looks in pretty good shape. And then the wheel there. I think I can still use that. Just need some cleanup. It works fine. Here's the wheel. So one of these wheels blew out when we was driving back about a mile away from my home, so that was good, but we already got some new wheels on order. You can see there it stands. Well, they're still pretty good, so I'll just clean those up, put some oil on them. They should work fine. And there's the tongue. And again, we're just doing some visuals and seeing, again, what we're going to do with the trailer. Alright, now, sort of a daunting task, but we'll get it done. I'm just looking at where I'm going to start hitting this thing with the grinder and cleaning up some of the rust. Alright, so here, I mean, when I'm using this grinder, I'm really just taking off the heavy rust. Anything that's not heavy, I'm just going to use a piece of sandpaper and do that part by hand. So that's what you see me doing, just kind of looking at heavy spots and removing the heavy rust on those areas. Alright guys, so here I'm just taking off the heavy rust here with the grinder. I'm not trying to like grind off all the rust with the grinder. So what I'll do is just grind off some of the heavier stuff and then come back and do the rest with the sandpaper by hand. Alright, so we're going to use some Rust-Oleum Rust Performer or Rust Reformer. Actually, we did it already, so as you can see, after sanding, I didn't record much sanding when I did it by hand, but you can get it. I sanded by hand. Anyways, so that is the Rust Performer there. So it basically turns the rust black. So then we can go ahead and put some undercoating on it. And so there it is. Alright, so now I am going to weld in a couple extra support pieces. I just went ahead and got a couple pieces of steel and just weld them in some of the places where obviously you can see there wasn't a whole lot of support there, and the trailer will go back that far, so I want to have some extra support, so I put one there and I put one in the front, as you'll see in a second here. But yeah, I just use my little itty bitty welder, nothing major. I'm not a welder by any means, but I can at least get these on pretty strong, and most of the weight will be on the outside framing of the frame that's already there anyway, so I mean, it doesn't have to be I guess a perfect weld. It ain't gonna fall off, I know that much. And so as you can see, I had to put the weld down because I'm using my generator to power this thing, so generator cuts off pretty quick with this. It's drawing some heavy amperage, and so my generator can't handle it for long periods of time, but it's enough to get it done. So remember to spray the ground. I didn't remember that till I thought about it. Then I finally went and got the hose and I sprayed the ground. It was pretty dry out, and there hadn't been rain in a long time, so the ground was pretty wet. So some of that dry grass you see started catching on fire, but I went ahead and wet the ground later on and got it finished. So as you can see, the two support pieces are in there, and there it is. So there's the base now on top of the frame. There's a 3mm or 3 mil moisture barrier underneath. For now, I plan to do a better job at undercoating the bottom once I'm done. And so now I'm starting to put some insulation. That's 2-inch foam insulation, and we're gonna put that on our base and then cover it up. So I'm just measuring Alright, so as you can see how I got the foam sandwiched in between the 2x4s. The base is pretty much the only place where I'm going to use 2x4s, and I did use structural screws to attach the base to the frame, so make sure you get some structural screws for that. And there we go. So there's the top now on top of the base. That's what we're gonna start building on top of. And as you can see, I started cutting out the top of the teardrop shape. In the next part of this series, we'll start building the frame of the teardrop camper. Stay tuned.